so wonderful when things like that happen. We like when it all works. Oh, okay. So if you guys are just tuning in, it is time for Pairanormal right here on TMV Cafe Radio. And I brought in some extra friends tonight. I brought in Mikey and Mandy. Now, these guys are called ice cream dolls if you've never seen them before, because if you look around their neck, they have an ice cream cone. And believe it or not, these guys are over 40 years old and have been with us ever since. Fortunately, they don't do anything special. But we are going to be talking with a man who has what we will call a celebrity haunted doll. Annie, do you know what a celebrity haunted doll is?
Gee, I don't know. What is a celebrity haunted doll?
Well, I would assume that these would be something like a doll of Justin Bieber or, oh, wait, no, that would be a voodoo doll. I'm not sure. So let's do this. Let's bring in Mr. Kevin Cain, our residential haunted doll expert. And you actually do have one today.
Yes, I do. I have. It's more like a mannequin than a doll. I'm going to pick her up here.
She's a big doll.
Oh, she's pretty.
And I see what you mean. What is she made of?
Made of same material as a mannequin from way back when.
Okay.
A little bit of, I feel like it's wood and whatever other material they used to use for mannequins back then. I guess they did use this in stores back in the 40s or whenever to display toddler clothes. In fact, this one's wearing, I guess you could say antique or vintage. Looks more like a christening gown to me. But these are baby clothes that it's wearing. And
that's
from an antique store in Gettysburg that was featured on TV.
Gettysburg. Did you get that?
And where?
Gettysburg, Pennsylvania.
Really?
Oh, yeah. So he's going to let us know where it was featured at and why it's a celebrity doll.
And you need to whisper in my ear, what antique store?
Oh, okay. Yeah, we're going to find out antique stores. I won't tell her the antique store where I got my lamps and fountain from.
No, you don't need to tell me. I'm just coming down, breaking in your house and taking it. I know where you are, so.
Oh, you know the vicinity, not the location.
I got your address.
Oh, crap.
I know where you are.
So, Kevin, tell us, why is this doll considered a celebrity doll?
Well, I thought it was a he, but it looks more like a she with the pink on the gown. She was featured in Ghost Nation on Travel Channel, which is the show with Jason Hawes and Steve Gonzalez and Dave Tango, who used to be ghost hunters on Sci-Fi Channel.
Right.
They do Ghost Nation on Travel Channel now. And this baby doll here was in, it's called Imogene's General Store on the Ghosts of the Battlefield episode where the boys were in Gettysburg and were called to the store. They have their store and also an old house they live in next door to it, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. The episode aired, it was a year ago this past fall. No, I'm sorry. It was a year ago. It was this last spring.
Could that be the one where it was in the actual antique store and all this stuff happened in the antique store?
Well, they've had 2 episodes that were antique stores. This one, I don't think they caught a lot of activity, but it was full of they had antique items, but they had a lot of statues and dolls. One of them was an old drummer boy statue from the Civil War.
Oh, wow.
And they had seen it move. But they put a night cam on this baby all night during that investigation because the owner said she had seen it move on the counter.
I'm thinking I might have seen that episode because they're no longer there. They closed their shop or something. I don't know if it's the same one or not.
I mean, this one's still up on their own Facebook, and they've still got items for sale. In fact, I didn't get this one till they had to wait until this past December for the Travel Channel contract to go up before I could get the doll.
I gotcha. So
Well,
you're saying they actually. Oh, sorry, Annie.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
This is like a four-way stop here.
Yeah. Who goes first? Well, you said that they right. You said that they actually saw the doll crawling in a sense.
But the owner claimed that. So Jason and Dave, they put a night cam on this doll all night. Now they didn't catch any movement, but at the end of the episode, when it aired, it was last May when it aired because I was living in this new house. I just moved in, and at the end they had a little 30-second snip at the end before the credits roll where the owners were pleading if somebody could buy this doll.
Oh.
Now, if you watch the episode on YouTube, on Travel Channel's YouTube channel, they've taken that last part out because, I mean, right after the show went off, I was getting with them on Facebook going, I'll take it.
Right? Yeah. Well, so let me ask you, have you had any kind of activity with the doll since?
I have some weird stuff. The first night it was here, where it sits on the display cabinet. I've got a long glass display cabinet right behind my sofa that's a little bit higher than the sofa. So the doll's up there. If you're sitting on the sofa, you can look back and there's dolls over you, smiling. And this one's on the end, so I can look over and see her. That first night, when she came, they had taken her arm. They unscrewed her arms and legs off so they could fit her properly in the shipping. And They had her all bundled up so she was safe. When I put her back together, you could hear that kind of wood against wood grinding when I screwed the hands back on. And I put her on display. I already had that spot on the cabinet cleared off. And that night I'm sitting on the couch. She's right here, back behind my shoulder here. And I hear that grinding noise, like the hand is moving. And I look around, and it's sitting exactly where it was before, but I heard that grinding noise.
Oh, my.
This is going to be interesting. And so that following weekend, I did a live feed on my YouTube channel, My Haunted Dolls, of just this baby. I had the camera on her for 2 solid hours, and I left the room, and I got on my live feed chat from across the house, and I was watching it and watching people chatting, and I could hear the noises live. I'm sitting there in my bedroom, and I can hear the noises live. There was a little dog yipping, barking. There's no dog in this house. We don't have a dog anywhere. I've got a cat, and my cat does not bark. And she was sound asleep, curled up on the sofa at the time, not making any noises. So I don't know if there's a dog spirit with this child, but I've never caught a dog yipping on my TVs before.
Wow.
But there was that, and there was a lot of tapping noise, like something was there next to the doll tapping on the glass of the case. So it could have been her. It could have been one of the other dolls with her trying to steal the show. But I didn't get any movement. I've heard the little sliding noise a few times, like her hand was moving or something next to me, and I look around and there's nothing. It's right where it should be. So the owner at Imogene's store said she had seen the hands move, and she said there had been times when the doll she'd be in the store working, and the doll would be pointed away like this, and she would turn around and do something and turn back, and it would be moved staring at her.
Yep,
like
I'm done.
That's why she was begging somebody to take this thing, and it did. Like I say, they didn't catch anything on the show, but they had a camera on this baby all night during that investigation.
Oh my! Yeah.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, boss.
No. You go ahead.
I was just wondering, do you know the history of the doll?
I don't think they do, because I asked about that on Facebook when I was messaging. You know, they said they had it in the store for a long time. And as far as they knew, it had just been a display mannequin. It was never didn't belong to any child or anything. So, but Gettysburg is so full of ghosts. If a child ghost and her dog wandered by, and like this baby, I guess they could attach themselves to it.
Yeah, I was going to ask that. Yeah, I was going to ask about the, with the connection between Gettysburg and that. Is it possible for that kind of?
Yes, for now, I went to Gettysburg about almost 3 years ago, but there's so much there. I mean, we were there for 2 days, and we still didn't see everything. But when you go out on the battlefield and you can see old buildings, and somewhere this store and the house they live in is not far off of the battlefield. We're talking maybe half mile, something like that. And they said they have seen the apparition of a spirit soldier in that store. And of course, this doll, and there were a few other statues in there they'd seen move. And but the creepier part was not what they found in there was not ghostly. They found up in the attic, I want to say it's the house next door, not the store, but they found snake skins in the attic and the ductwork, meaning snakes had been in there and shedding. And she had reported hearing noises in the walls and thought it was paranormal. But Jason Pauls was like, I think you got snakes.
Yeah, right.
Look into that.
Okay, two things would stop me from doing much. Annie knows number one. What is it?
Say that one more time.
Two things would stop me from certain investigations. What is number one, Annie?
Snakes.
Well, okay, snakes is up there, but spiders.
Spiders, yeah.
I don't like spiders.
See,
I'm a lot bigger.
Didn't they make a song out of that? I don't like spiders or snakes.
Yeah, okay, but look at this. Let's think about this. Paranormal investigations take place everywhere.
True.
We know that they're depending on the location, like Gettysburg or certain areas. There's things that we can't quite see because they're nocturnal more than anything else, such as snakes.
I'm cool with the snakes. The spiders, no way. No. Sorry.
See, if you ever want to see somebody dance that says they can't dance, make me walk through a spider web. Oh yeah, we'll put Michael Jackson in the shame. I was wondering how long you wanted to hold her.
But she's heavy.
Well, and that's solid wood. If it is the way you're describing, that's a really solid doll. And so that's why I would be curious. Yeah, right.
It's some kind of paper coating, it seems like. I don't know, it's kind of weird. Or it might be plaster. That's what I was trying to think of. Wood with a plaster coating. It's very solid.
When you held her up, I could see what looked like and that's why I asked what she was made of, because it looked like porcelain, sort of old porcelain.
It looks like it, but there's no glass there at all.
Yeah.
Does she have any markings?
The one finger I noticed on TV, it was already like that. One finger broke off at some point in the past, and other than that, a few little scuff marks here and there.
I'm saying markings, meaning like you possibly made her or something.
Oh no, there's not any markings on it. She's pretty clean. Nobody's done any kind of, marking on her or anything.
Yeah, so no
There's no manufacturer marking either.
Right.
That's what I meant. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, you would that's a good point. I don't even know if these guys have it. Well, they might.
She might have been made by some local company there in Gettysburg for that store. So that might be why there was never a mark, no manufacturer mark or anything. But they weren't quite sure. These are the people that I think were relatives of the original people that owned it way back then. So they didn't have a lot of detail on the story of the mannequin, other than it had been a part of the store for a long time.
Yeah, see, that would always be my first question, is the history, like Annie was saying, because we want to know, what is this doll? What do they, Okay, so a mannequin doll, I've always thought mannequins were creepy in the first place, but I don't know anyone else that disagrees with that. What about you, Annie?
Well, I don't pay attention to I mean, I've seen the TV, the Supernatural episode, and
Right.
but I wonder what they do at night when the lights are off.
Exactly. I became a huge fan of the Ghost Brothers. So I've seen everything they've got out on Discovery Channel now, or Discovery Plus. And they've done some pretty cool investigations, but they also do the same thing that I would do if it's a spider. And what I love most is these guys are like, oh, hell no, I ain't doing it.
Nope.
Yeah, so
it's funny. People and critters scare me a whole lot more than the ghosts.
Well, see, and that's the thing that I remember getting asked once, how can he stand haunted dolls but not do investigations or other stuff? I was like, well, but each person has their own way. They have their own thing. So I'm gonna introduce you guys to. Oops, gotta share. Yeah, there we go. Let's try this again. I'm gonna introduce you guys to a very famous haunted doll. Do you recognize her?
No,
I don't think so. I might have seen it before.
Well. And see, I love Oriental art and Oriental things, so this one caught my attention. But as you know, the haunted doll phenomenon isn't just a craze anymore, but it has really become something that a lot of people have looked into. Now, we've talked in the past about dolls like Robert, Annabelle. Okay, we could throw Chucky in there if we wanted to. I think Chucky was mentioned in the comments earlier tonight. But this particular doll is called Okiku.
Okiku.
Okiku. Okiku. Okay? Now, here's the history on this particular doll. She's very unique. In 1918, a young man purchased a doll that would later on claim the name of Okiku as her own for his 2-year-old sister. And the legend then would, of course, kick off, some say, a tourism flash. In Japan, during this era, was still stuck in the way of feudalism. And while the world would, around her was embracing the progress of technology and science, Japan was holding tight to her beliefs and to her rich methodology of fables. We go on. On February 3rd, evil spirits were driven away by going to shrines, and through rituals and folklore practices, called, and I hope I say this right, Setsubun events. I hope I said that right. And they had things like lake monsters, which gobbled up kids, woods, like like the famous suicide woods and stuff. But Japanese culture was and still is fraught with legend and the supernatural. I guess you could say boogeyman. And dolls, some of them were powerful instruments of magic. So you didn't mess with dolls in the Japanese tradition. Okay, so like Okiku is one of those ones. She was bought by a man, and as I said, for his 2-year-old sister. He was touring the region for a maritime exhibition, and the doll instantly drew his eyes. The perfect little thing sat on a shop window, enticing him, kind of like somebody else's doll that I know. Suzuki didn't think twice. This was the name. I couldn't say his first name, but I could say Suzuki. He wanted it and instantly purchased the doll for his sister and used the last of his money for it. And of course, she's dressed in a traditional kimono, and the doll was exquisite, as you can see. Its hair was raven black and cut to roughly shoulder length in a traditional Okapa hairstyle. I hope I said that one right. I practiced as much as I could. Her eyes were piercing coals that seemed to swallow everything in her gaze. And the thing was mesmerizing and enchanting, something to take your breath away. And I mean, she's a beautiful doll. I like the look of it. Yeah, I mean, I look at that. I love the print on it. On the the kimono and stuff, and and I can't tell too much from the picture, but I know some traditional kimonos have like this silky texture to it, so you could only imagine this has that kind of texture as well. So I mean, they went to the point on that. Well, he went back home, gave the doll to his sister, and she fell in love with the doll immediately. And it transformed into Okiku's favorite toy, and more importantly, her best friend. Now, Okiku played every day with the doll, took it everywhere, and treated it like a little sister. She would talk and prattle with the thing. She would feed it, sleep with it, and she even decided to call it Okiku, a mirror duplicate of herself. And the doll never left her sight. Okay. A year later, tragedy struck. In 1919, Okiku died. Yellow fever had descended on the land and rubbed the family of the little girl. And Okiku died gasping for air, in pain and afraid. The doll held firmly in her grasp. She was only 3 years old, and the family wanted to bury the doll along with Okiku, but circumstances and government oversight prevented this last act of kindness on their part. So the doll was never laid to rest with Okiku. So what happens with this doll? Well, they say sometimes the doll would appear by their side come morning, and they would have other chilling events. Its hair actually would grow. It had, at one point, it was at shoulder length with neat ends, and now is a mangled mess, split ends reaching down past her waist with a scruffy different color, and, of course, felt different. Things continued to happen, and full-blown acts of spiritual infestations, lights flickering on and off, banging in the house, noises and strange voices. And the closer the year got to the certain key date of Okiku's birthday and the day of her death, it would get worse. So in 1938, the family relocated to a different district. They had by now become accustomed to Okiku and even grew fond of their daughter's restless spirit, which they claim is part of the doll. And to them was a magical and unique opportunity to interact with the dead, not desiring to take Okiku with them. Fearing that what fueled her magic was the proximity to their daughter's grave. So the family approached the local temple and asked to take care of the doll. The temple by now had heard about all these interesting stories and adopted dolls whose hair would grow every year. They were fascinated, skipping like schoolgirls, so to say, with prospect, and the priest gleefully accepted the charge of taking care of Okiku. And over time, they managed to confirm the events that happen. The hair does actually grow. They have cut samples of the hair for scientific analysis, and they've done scientific examinations on her. And the hair, you ready for this? If this doesn't give you chills, I don't know what will. But the hair is actual human hair. Now, you want that doll?
I'll take the doll. I bet they want $1 bazillion for it, but
yeah, I'm sure they do, right?
I think I have heard that story before. I just didn't recognize the picture, but I think I have heard that before.
Yeah, she rests in a case in a temple with somewhat of a shrine to the actual girl Okiku.
Yeah, I remember that now. Yeah, they're not going to give that doll up.
Yeah, I don't think so. But this would be one of those ones I'd have to go and investigate myself, because I would love to know, and granted, it's one of those ones that, tradition holds, and they talk about how it could be one thing or the other, but the more important part is the hair. That part throws me off. How does it go from not real hair to human hair?
Yeah, that's weird.
And of course, mine's cut, so I can't say that much, but it's getting thick again, so.
Mine's kind of thick right now. I need a haircut.
So, how about you, Annie? Would you like one of those dolls?
No.
Oh. See.
She's a beautiful doll.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, she's a beautiful, beautiful doll.
But no.
But I have to say.
No.
I have to say, though, Kevin, Annie has a doll right there with her.
Oh.
The damn it doll?
Yep.
Damn it doll.
Damn it doll. Damn it. I got it all gutsy. I can't go around hitting Bob.
My mom had a damn it doll. It actually had a voice box, and when you slam it, it go, damn it.
No, I can say it myself, you can always use other words.
Yeah.
Right. All right, folks. I guess we need to bring in that time. It's the halfway point. Kevin, something new that we started is our fight or flight moment. And this is what I mean. Let's see.
Okay, let me get comfortable.
So, really simple. It goes like this. An event that would make you want to stay, fight, and check it out, or you're gone. Just that Scooby-Doo run. That's it. So, in saying so, we have a video that was sent to me. Now, I've seen this video before, and this actually was sent to me. Somebody found it again on YouTube, sent it back. The credit for the video is in there. You'll see it in the lower part. But I'm going to explain to you the premise of this video. Okay, so what we have here. Oops. Okay, let's back up. What we have here is a girl who's celebrating. She's Hispanic, and she's celebrating her 15th birthday. Now, that's called a quinceañera. And in here, she's, of course, talking Spanish, so trying to understand is one thing. But she's actually saying that she thinks the doll is ugly, and it's supposed to be a replica of her. Okay? Watch the doll as she talks about it. And it'll slow down again towards the end. But watch the doll as she talks about it and tell me what you would do afterwards. So here we go. Here is the wonderful haunted doll.
Bueno, aquí les presentamos a la muñeca de Betty que se la regalaron a sus 15 años.
No manches, mira.
Did you see the doll? It turns towards her. And it's not her doing it, because you can see her hands are nowhere near her. She's holding it like down by its legs and its waist. And the doll literally turns. Freaks her out. She screams. She throws the doll down. I'm sure that doesn't make the doll any happier either. So, fight or flight? Now, I already know Kevin's answer. Give me that doll. He's gonna pull a Mortal Kombat. Get over here. What about you, Annie?
Goodbye.
Yeah, kind of. I would have to agree with her on that. If I'm holding the doll and it turns and looks at me while I'm talking, we're done. Next phone call is to Kevin.
Yeah, see, if it was me, so like if that just happened with that doll standing here for the turn, then I'd just start talking to it. Like
right?
And then I want to get the camera and video it and see if I can capture it.
Oh my God, guys. Yeah, that's
spirit box out. Say your name for me, you know, and
breaking out cell phones. Hey, check it out. It's alive.
Yeah. I certainly wouldn't drop her. I can understand a petite girl that's not used to something like that is gonna scream and drop.
I don't think anybody
no joke.
something like that. Oh, no.
In Annie's case, it might become the new Damn It doll. Damn it, it's alive.
Maybe I should be nicer to my Damn It doll.
Right?
Oh.
I actually do have other videos that I didn't break up because they were sent in from the people, I guess, recorded other shows on YouTube. And so they were showing these, like top 5 haunted dolls or different things. And oh my God, I will be honest, I have seen some weird ones that I couldn't even explain. And, okay, I kind of thought maybe that doll in the video we just saw, it could have had batteries in it. It could be one of those automated ones. We don't know without actually looking at the doll.
Yeah.
But even if she didn't know, dude, that's just, you can tell. But there was one.
They look like one of the tall Barbie dolls that don't. I've seen one of those before. Those don't have batteries in them or anything. They're just the regular Barbie, just big size, Well, I don't know for sure that's what that was.
See, I wondered if it's that one that can walk with you.
Have you seen that doll? Yeah,
yeah.
It does look like I had one of the. I still have one of those. I have an old Walker doll from the '60s, and I have a more modern one that looks like what she had. I didn't think about that.
And that's what I thought. I thought, hey, this is one of those dolls. This has to be one of those dolls. But I don't know if it moves at the waist or... I mean, let's look at this again, because I think she even moves her hands, doesn't she? Did I see it move its hands?
I think her hand around the waist there might have moved.
No, it's just the waist and head that moved.
Yeah, it wasn't her hand.
Right. But I mean, look at the head. And here's the thing too. Let me. Yeah. What a stop. Here's the thing. If you look in the background, you can see the mirror.
Yeah.
Okay. And looking at that mirror, you can tell there's nothing behind her. There's nobody moving it.
Not to mention if when she drops the doll, if you look, if somebody was hiding behind her, she's so petite. There's no way for anybody to hide, crouch down back there. If you pause it right at the end when she drops it and moves, there's nobody back there. And then you've got the mirror there. This one's one of the harder ones to straight up debunk.
Right. We actually just got a comment in too from Casilda, who says that Bobby the doll and Peggy the doll are really haunted. Have you heard of them, Kevin?
I have Peggy. I've heard of her for a long time now. And in fact, the last I heard, I believe she's in Zach Bagan's museum in Las Vegas.
What about?
I can't remember her name. The lady that owned Peggy was from the UK. She originally owned the two witch dolls I have in here. They're the creepy looking painted up dolls.
Yeah, I remember those.
Yeah. And she owned Peggy, and then she took Peggy to Zach's museum. Bobby, I'm not quite sure. Maybe if I saw a picture, I might remember. But yeah, Peggy, that's the one. They tell you if you look in her eyes, she might drive you crazy. In fact, Zach did a warning on the TV episode: don't look in her eyes, or you might go crazy. I've looked at her many times, and I've not gone crazy
I'm
yet.
already there, so
Maybe I'm already there. But that doesn't mean she's not haunted. I think she might be over exaggerated. But
right.
She's in Zach's museum, so people can see her.
Heart attacks and headaches. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So she says that that it has the warning on YouTube that it has caused heart attacks and headaches. I'm thinking Bobby the doll is Robert. Robert. The doll.
Okay.
Yeah, Robert Bobby.
Good old Key West Robert.
Right. Yeah, and we've talked about him in the past for sure. And you want to reintroduce us to your wonderful friend there.
Yeah, I haven't. They didn't have a name for her.
I was going to ask.
I originally
didn't give her a name.
I did. I originally thought it was a boy when I saw it on TV. When I got here, the first thing I did was call it Herbie the haunted mannequin.
Oh,
and then I got Herbie. I think this is a girl, so now I got to come up with maybe Henrietta. I don't know.
Well, let's see. Let's see. So we know that this doll again was featured on Ghost Nation, and they talked about it being around during Gettysburg and everything. So we would probably have to look back in the history of some of the names for around that time, and I bet you we could probably come up with the perfect name for her.
Maybe I thought Henrietta's kind of old, but maybe
I like Abigail.
Abigail.
Abigail's a good one.
That's an old yet still pretty.
Casilda says that even though the doll's creepy, she loves it.
Yeah. Oh, everybody! I've
she's
had
got such a pretty little face.
Yeah, I've had people come. One girl came and saw the collection, all these dolls I've got in here and things, and she said none of them bother her except this one. She said she felt like it just kept staring at her. Everybody gets creeped out by her.
It's like did the eyes follow you, or is that like the feeling you get?
Not with me. When I look in the eyes, you almost feel like there is somebody there looking back at you, but I don't feel them following me when I, get up, walk around or whatever. They're not quite painted on eyes. This was so detailed. It's carved in, and there's eyeballs inside the lids, but it's all.
She's saying, "Would you get your hand out of my nose?"
He's gonna smack it. So it looks like Abigail is a winning name. Even Casilda said that.
Yeah. Okay, we'll keep that.
Yeah.
Abigail.
And for those who want who want to follow more and find out more about his dolls, his book collections, and everything, make sure you go to myhauntedDolls.com, because there's everything Kevin Cain there, including his YouTube page, where you can actually see videos of him doing EVP sessions with them. And you brought the books, yay!
Oh,
I've got
I have got to get some of your books. My God.
There's 12 of them out there in the shop. I have a 13th one that's just straight up ebook. You can find that on Kindle. But the other 12 are all out on the shop there. This was the latest novel I wrote based on a real haunted painting from Salem that I've got hanging in here. I named the spirit Crimson. I think I got that on the spirit box I did. There's a spirit box out there on YouTube, and it's like a really deep female voice comes through.
Oh,
but
wow.
The painting allegedly hung in the house of a practicing witch in Salem. And I've never had anything from Salem before. I said I got to have this. And the painting, it's antique. The frame is like late 1800s, and the portrait is supposed to be of a lady in mourning who lost a loved one in the Civil War. So it's a real painting. But the witch, from what I was told to me, the lady that sent it to me is from Salem. The witch passed away, and the lady that sold me the painting said that it had been used as a conduit.
Oh my, okay.
I said, yeah, something like that needs to be in the proper hands in case something happens. I've got the holy water ready, you know. So, but I haven't had any problems from her. She's a nice spirit or whatever she is. But the story was so interesting. I wrote a fictional novel based on that. That movie. But then if you want the nonfiction, I've got this, and I've actually got this is my haunted collection. I've got a sequel that I just put out a few months back called My Haunted Collection, The Dark Side, that tells about the more evil ones I have, like the really crazy Jack-in-the-Box clown doll I have in there that's sealed up in a case.
No clowns.
He's the guy from Washington State that sent it to me. He was more of a Bigfoot hunter, so he contacted me on my Facebook. He said, I'm Bigfoot. I don't do ghosts. And I had given it to him saying that they had been scratched by this thing. Well, he had it sealed up in a box by, I guess, a pastor or somebody up there prayed on it. And they sent it here. And over time, its hands are folded up. And over time, I guess it's pissed off. These fingers have curled down and it's shooting a bird.
Shoot.
Perfect.
This is the doll. This is the doll we gotta see.
So there's a picture in that book, but I have to, just in case I blurred out the birdie finger in case somebody got insulted. We got
oh, the heck with them.
Right? No joke. Let me go ahead. I'm sorry.
I've got my own Annabelle type doll in there that's in a case that came from Baton Rouge that was so nasty. I had to soak her in holy water and seal her up in a case. And her story's in that book too. So be sure to check that out.
Is she a Raggedy Ann or?
She's a beautiful Victorian looking porcelain doll. And it's one of those looks can be deceiving. She looks so sweet. The lady bought her from someone claiming it was a very nice, sweet, haunted doll. And then she got it home. And for the next few weeks, she and her roommate were having violent nightmares, waking up with 3 scratch marks down their arms.
Yep.
One of them woke up to the feeling of being strangled. And that's when they contacted me. And when I got it, as soon as I got it here, it was funny. The FedEx guy that delivered her, he's usually nice, and he brings the packages up and meets me there at the door. Not this time. Before I could get the door, I heard thunk, and I opened the door, and he is peeling rubber down the road.
Whoa. So he had some kind of activity while he was moving the doll too. Oh, wow.
But I started feeling like I was going to puke all my guts out. That's usually how I get if I'm around an evil presence. So I knew, and I already had the holy water and everything ready. I said, yeah, we're going to have to check in. My cat would not come near She usually is right there with me watching me opening packages. She ran from the room, would not come out until I did the whole blessing. And she finally came tiptoeing out of the bedroom where she was hiding. My cat's, she's a good, what do you call it?
Barometer.
She's a good reaction type item to have around. If there's a nasty, she reacts, buddy.
Yeah, I noticed that. That's something that you really want to pay attention to. A lot of people don't understand this, but animals and children are very well known to let you know if something is good or bad. If you see an animal running from something in fear, and you know the difference between just wound up to running in fear, follow the animal.
But, there, okay.
Yeah.
So,
so I do want to mention a couple of things here. We do invite everyone that if you want to send in some videos or pictures that we could feature here on the show, make sure you email them to pairanormalradio@gmail.com as it scrolls across the bottom here. Also, if you're watching on YouTube, please give us a like and subscribe, and so we can, show you more and tell you more of what's coming up and so forth. But more importantly, this one I want to do like this and say thank you to Sonny Vader. He has his own YouTube channel, and last week we had Jack Carey on, and I hope I said that right. I can't remember. Anyway, Jack Carey. And one of the videos, which was the Bigfoot face, was actually his. Now, when we got it, we weren't told whose it was, so we couldn't issue credit to it. So Sonny Vader is the actual owner of that video, and thankfully he said, he didn't tell us to take it out. He basically said to give him the credit for his YouTube page. So if you guys check out last week's video, it is on there. We added the credit to it, and unfortunately they don't do discussions or interviews, but it would have been nice because I would love to have found out more evidence that they had actually come across. So, but yeah, make sure you guys go check out Sonny Vader's Facebook page, and YouTube page, and we did put the credit in that video so everyone can go back and check it out.
That was creepy. Scary.
Hey,
that one I would have run with.
Look, let me tell you what. Having a Bigfoot investigator who's been doing it for over 20 years to confirm that video was legit right here on the air, and then the people who owned the video said you could run with it too, just give them the credit, which we did, and holy crap. So I'm just,
you have got to see this. This is like holy smokes.
It was a very, very good video. If you haven't checked it out, you got to go check it out in last week's video with Jack Carey. And trust me, if you've never seen Bigfoot, there you go. It's clear. That's the thing. You know how they always talk about, these videos aren't clear. These videos, so why are all these videos always blurry? And we do. We always see nothing but blurry videos of Bigfoot, right? Not this one.
Wasn't it?
Not this one. This one was very clear. So, yeah, we finally got a good video of it. And thank you to Sonny Vader for allowing us to continue to keep that video out there so people can check it out. So, and then, of course, I want to put eventually, I'm going to take some of yours and put it up here, too, because you've got EVP sessions with the dolls. But I had this one question for you. There is a device that people have been using a lot in paranormal investigations called the Ovilus. Are you familiar with it?
Yeah, I've heard of that.
Have you ever used it for, any of your sessions with your dolls?
Well, yeah, is this the one? I'm not sure I know what I'm talking about. This is the one that shows the words.
Yep.
displays words. We've used that. See, I don't just do the haunted collecting, but I'm with Scare of Alabama, which is a paranormal team, and we actually go out and investigate people's homes and businesses when they have problems. So I do this and I do that kind of paranormal investigating. And we have used that obelisk. And our team leader, Kim Johnston, we tried it a few times, but she said, I feel like it's more of a party game type thing here. Because you never know, is it, did I just freeze up?
A little bit, but that's okay. We still heard you.
Oh, okay. You never know if it's just hearing, especially if you're using it on a cell phone, if it's just hearing words and displaying what it's heard from our conversation. But
it's funny you say that because I downloaded the app.
Yeah.
And I've actually got an Obelisk app in my phone, and thank God I'm not in a haunted house anymore. But I actually have ran it, and nothing has come through.
Ah.
So I and somebody said, "Oh, it's a party app. It's a party app." But no. This one's actually promoted by a team, and I used it.
Yeah, that's another going to say. If you can find the right kind, like one that a team has used and can confirm, because I have used one. I can't completely dispute it because I've used one when I used to live in the old house where I had to buy a bigger house for this collection. I had an app like that where I went through all of them. Some of them looked phony, but I found one like you're talking about that had a paranormal team behind it.
Right.
So I downloaded it, and it was one of those that displays the words and leaves the list up there along with the time. And I thought, I wonder if I could use this like a EVP and just turn it on and set it in there and leave, and then come back later and see what it shows.
Oh, that would be cool.
And I did. I set it up next to those two witch dolls I mentioned earlier. And when I came back, there were words on there that had displayed that had witch, England, which is where they came from, and woman, that had magic. And the lady that originally owned these dolls that tried to use them as revenge dolls was using them for black magic. So these words were coming up, and there were other random ones like but and the, but these words, I said, and I wasn't even in the room. Nobody was in there talking to influence it. And for these words that had meaning with these particular dolls to come up on there, that was really weird. That was creepy.
Yeah.
I said, I can't completely rule this out. It just, if you know what you're doing and have the right kind of tool or app, it could be useful.
It's like you said, it's only supposed to give like one word. But I have actually seen it used where it's not given one word, it's given sentences. And that freaked out the team. Because they're like, I'm not supposed to do that.
Yeah, and there's another reason I've had people, other paranormal team people that I've met at conventions I've done, would say, yeah, we use that. We just stopped using it because of this and that. And I was like, well, you never know. Even if you don't think it's a tool that, would be useful like this, it's still interesting to have it because you never know when something paranormal might misuse it like that.
Right.
I've had full sentences come out of the spirit box. That
I have too.
In this radio, it would be just like a word or two come through. Shouldn't be full sentences on something scanning 5 pages per second.
Or get it in a whole different language.
Yeah.
The one we had was all Spanish, and it asked to talk to a specific individual, and we're just like, did it just say that?
Yeah.
So, hey, look, it could, these things, people, they look at them differently, but if it works, and that's why I asked about it, because you're talking that it gave, you weren't there like coercing it. You weren't
Yeah.
giving it words to try to trigger off of. It did it on its own. So that tells me right away, hey, this is something you got to, you can't deny. We know that EMF meters are not just used in paranormal investigating, it's used in construction work, and electricians use those. FLIR cameras are used for many different things outside of paranormal investigating, but they are scientific pieces of equipment that help, and so being able to use those things to reveal something, you can't deny that. So,
and you can find, people go out and spend hundreds or maybe thousands of dollars on equipment that, to try to use on investigations, like things you see on TV with ghost adventures. And people don't realize there are some basic cheap things you can use to get some really good evidence, like this little cat ball that lights up. It only lights up, it'll go off in a minute, but it only lights up when it's touched or moved, like somebody comes up and bumps it, touches it. Well, there we go. The battery. But it's a cat toy, and people didn't realize until the last. In fact, I didn't know until about 4 or 5 years ago. I've had a cat for a while. That this could be useful.
That's a good idea.
We interviewed a team, Manny, that used those.
Yeah, because we can sit in the middle of the floor. We've done it on investigations in people's homes, especially if you've got a spirit that might be a child spirit. Put it on the floor. It's a little pretty light up ball. If there's a child there, they're going to want to play with it. We've actually gotten them to be able to answer yes or no questions with these by light it up for yes and don't light it for no. But I would set this in the room where some of the dolls were and just sit back, or maybe, go off and do something for a while. And I would, make sure where my cat is and make sure it's not her. But I would come back and it would just be lighting up, but nobody in there, no movement. It was almost like one of the spirits was in there playing with it from one of the dolls. Or maybe multiple spirits were playing with it.
Right.
And one time it actually rolled by itself. It was stationary. All of a sudden, just started slowly rolling across the carpet.
Oh, wow.
Days where I wasn't. In fact, I'd forgotten I'd left it out. And it's always one of these where you don't have a camera in hand or close by that it happens.
Yep.
I walk in the room and there it is moving with the light on. I'm like, where's the camera? And by the time I get back there, it's already over. It's done.
It's done, yeah.
Yeah. Now I'm not gonna let that. I'm gonna, please do it again for me. No, I'm not gonna.
Yeah, that's the bad part. It's like taking your car to the mechanic. It's making noise. Okay, what kind of noise? Turn it on. Purrs like a kitten. Well, it was making a noise. Okay, drive it off the lot. There it is. Yeah, exactly. So I'm very curious to see what other things that you're going to have with Abigail.
Yeah, I've got a couple of videos out there on YouTube. One's a 30-minute spirit box session video where I did get a few interesting things. I don't think I did ask for a name during that session. Never got one, if I recall. So I just kept using the name Herbie until I realized I think this was a girl. And
Annie rolled her eyes.
But maybe now she'll do it if I acknowledge her properly.
Now,
but the 2-hour session is out there archived, the 2-hour live session where people were chatting and that little dog barking, you could hear it, which that freaked me out because I'm sitting across the house watching it on my smartphone, and I'm like, I want to go in there, but I don't want to contaminate. I want to stay where I am. If I go in there, it's going to contaminate it. They're going to hear my footsteps go, there's a ghost in there.
Right, I hear footsteps. They're mine. So let me ask you a quick question. There's something that hit me while we were talking about naming the doll. Do you think, especially a doll that might have an attachment or something, do you think it's a good thing to name it?
I do, just to give it identity, and it certainly helps. Yeah.
In Annie's case, it's going to be named "Damn It" because that's what she's screaming as she's beating it on the desk.
No, it's even got a little film that goes with it. So
when you're doing spirit box sessions like I do, it's even more important to have a name, so you're not on there going, hey, you, that doll with the flower dress. No, not you, that with the purple one.
Right. Oh, yeah, that really helps too. Yeah.
A lot of them have come to me with names. They've come to me from other investigators who've gotten spirit box sessions where they've been able to get a name, or someone who was more sensitive could pick up on a presence there and give you a story.
Right.
And there's another thing you have to be careful for. Some people say they're sensitive and they're just BSing, but I've gotten some. I remember when I first started doing this, and I started talking to other collectors, and some of them would claim to be sensitive, and they would give me these stories, and I'd be like, yeah, it could have just made it up,
Yeah.
When they would send me the doll. But then I would get it and do my own spirit box sessions, and I would get answers that from the box that coincided with the story that was given to me. And then I'm like, well, maybe, yeah.
You know what I'd like to do, and anyone that's listening can say they agree or disagree, but you know what I'd like to do one time, if you didn't mind, is we have several of your dolls with you for that, and bring on a medium or somebody that might be able to say what they get from each one of the dolls. So we just have a different one come up each time and find out what, maybe Abigail does have a different name or a different thing, and if that person can sense it and tell you, maybe that would be kind of a cool touch.
That would be really cool.
That'd be awesome. I've had that. I'm normally on a show on Tuesday night like this. In fact, we use StreamYard with ours. It's called Pairanormal Alabama.
Right.
It's on YouTube. And we've had Kelsey host it, and I'm usually co-hosting. It's kind of where he likes to make fun of me and all that. But we've had a couple of mediums come on, and a few of them without me telling the story. He's always not tell us the story, and I'm like, no, I'm going to be influencing this person if I tell it now. Let's let them read it first. And
I totally agree.
But a couple of them were pretty close, very close.
Wow.
The doll, and there was a third one. She was pretty close too, and she was from Norway, all the way across the ocean, on live with us. I don't know what time it was her time. It was 8 o'clock here. So she must have been up in the wee hours of the morning to talk to us. But she did a reading of some of my dolls I had on here like this, sitting here with me. And Kelsey wanted to have her back because a lot of people came on to watch her from not only here, but from the UK. We had a lot of audience members that night. And he wanted to get her back. And a day or two later, when she responded, and he came back and told me, he said, I'm sorry to tell you this, but she don't want to come back. I said, why? He said, she told me your doll scared her. She doesn't like you.
Oh, okay.
Dang, maybe my doll didn't like her.
Which doll was it?
The usual ones I've had on, like, excuse me. I think this one came from my friend Cherie in Georgia that I had on that particular night. And it's never been a problem. It's a little girl spirit with it. Her name is Amy. And the medium hit the nail on the head. I can't think of her name. I just remember she was from Norway. She's way over there. But Cherie, when she gave her to me, told me, this doll's been known to people have heard a little girl crying mama around the doll. Right. There's no child there. And the medium picked up on that at me telling. She goes, I keep seeing this little girl crying mama, mama. And I'm like, dang. She's hitting that nail on the head. But it was that doll. The doll itself has got these really purple eyes. It's kind of a unique doll, so it can look kind of freaky. Maybe that's why it spooked her. But yeah, she told Kelsey she didn't want to come back on if I was on because she didn't. My doll. She said, those dolls scare me. So, so they made her feel sick. No, they don't make me feel sick. And, if there was anything evil, I would be the first one throwing up in the bathroom.
Yeah, I hear you.
And I guess I'm partially sensitive to evil spirits. They either give me the willies, or if I start getting shakes or I get sick to my stomach, I got to leave the room. And somebody better bust that room.
Well, I think that's pretty interesting, because in a sense it shows the sensitivity, but it also helps you stay safe to not put yourself in such a situation. Yeah.
I've been told I get it from my grandmother was, on my dad's side, was kind of sensitive too. Her mother, my great grandmother, was a flat out empath. My grandmother used to tell me they couldn't lie around her. She knew when something was up. She called it getting a notion. I'm getting a notion that you're up to something. No, Mom, I'm not. Oh, yeah, you are. Go ahead and tell me. And she could pick up on people if they were good or bad. Like this one story she told me that just gave me the willies. This old man showed up at their door, and this is back in the late 30s, early 40s when my grandmother was a little girl. And this old man showed up at the door asking her father if he could have a place to stay that night. He was a drifter and just passing through, but I need a roof over my head for the night. And my great grandpa, being the friendly Christian he was like, yeah, sure, we'll put you up somewhere. But my great grandmother wasn't gonna have it. She kept pulling him aside, saying, "There's something about that man. I don't want him here. Get him out of here. There's something evil with this guy." And it took some prodding, but my great grandfather finally told the guy, "I'm sorry, we don't have room. Maybe you can find somebody in town." And the guy looked kind of angry and moved on. And it wasn't a week later, they saw a newspaper front page news article. Man suspected of rape and murder of child captured, and the picture was of that same man on the front cover of that paper.
Wow.
Now, my grandmother had all these little siblings there. If they had let that man stay there that night, who knows what could have happened? You know?
That's true. That's true.
So
I want to remind everyone to go to your website right there on your where your name would be, myhauntedDolls.com. You can check out Kevin Cain's books and everything. Make sure you go to his YouTube page and let him know that you saw him here. Okay, so I have this one question. Annie might lose juice, but I have to know.
Yeah, I'm almost minutes on my computer.
Am I seeing nesting dolls back there below your radio?
Mine?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nesting dolls?
Well, that's the ones where you have the multiple dolls within
dolls, and you screw them, and there's a little.
Yeah, there is a. Well, I guess that's what it is. It's an Alabama football player.
Oh,
and it looks like that. I'm not sure. That's my dad's. That's his little area over there. My father lives with me now, and that's his. I think that is one of those. You open it up. There's a smaller one. Then you open that up. There's a little one.
Yeah. Okay, those are. I know them as nesting dolls. We actually have one ourselves.
Yeah, you have a set of Russian ones. My mom gave me.
Yeah.
I have no idea where they are.
Ours are in the living room. So, and that's how I recognized it. I saw the shape, and I recognized the shape. So, I was going to see if that had anything, if that had, was one of your dolls things. But since we know now it belongs to Dad, we won't do that.
Yeah. I don't want to Alabama stuff. He gets crazy.
Yeah. Don't touch that.
He gets cranky about that.
All right, guys, we're going to head on out of here. Thank you all for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe to the station so you can actually check out more. We do have more coming up and a lot of other stuff. Next week, we have a NASA rocket scientist live with us. Yeah, we're going to be talking some pretty cool stuff, guys, so get ready for it.
Out of this world.
Literally. All right, my friends. Thank you again for joining us, Kevin.
Oh, thanks, Kevin.
Yeah, thank you for having me back.
Yes. Oh, we're going to have you back again soon because we're going to talk about that. But everyone else, have a good night, and we'll see you next time.
Bye,